Behind the glam and glory of some of the biggest female athletes and influencers lies a hidden truth: steroids. From Marion Jones, whose Olympic golds turned to ashes,
I'm still Marion Jones, but I've just been transformed.
to Jodie Marsh's candid admissions of steroid side effects,
Okay, girls, thank you. Relax.
these women paid a heavy price for shortcuts to fame and strength. Their stories are cautionary tales of ambition, regret, and lost legacies. Get ready to explore the 15 female influencers who regret taking steroids. Number 15. Marion Jones. Once the queen of track and field, now more like the cautionary tale of steroid regret. This lady sprinted her way to Olympic fame, snagging 5 medals at the 2000 Sydney Games. But here's the kicker: all that glitters ain't gold when steroids come into play. Spoiler alert, Marion ended up admitting she juiced, and honestly, it's the kind of drama that has "big yikes" written all over it. Jones came clean, confessing to using performance-enhancing. This wasn't just some little oopsie. She got caught in a federal investigation, pled guilty, and even served time behind bars.
And I am responsible fully for my actions. I have no one to blame but myself for what I have done.
Talk about a fall from grace. You'd think after all that she'd be chilling in peace, but nope. She's been pretty vocal about how much she regrets it. She called it a big mistake and admitted it wrecked her career and personal life. Like, yeah, Marion, that steroid flex cost you way more than just medals. What was she thinking? Was the pressure to stay on top really worth trading integrity for short-term gains? And honestly, can you blame her? The Olympics is no joke. The hype, the fame, the cash. It's tempting to take shortcuts. But that high comes with a price, and Marion paid it hard. She's been trying to bounce back, focusing on family and coaching now, but that steroid stain, it's still there. Number 14. Tammy Thomas. In the late 90s and early 2000s, she ruled the cycling world, winning races and earning a reputation as a powerhouse. Her impressive pedal power wasn't all natural. Just so you know, steroids and other banned substances were in the mix, and boy, did that decision come back to bite her hard. Tammy was caught red-handed doping, which sent shockwaves through the cycling world. Talk about a major oh no moment. She got slapped with a 2-year suspension, and that wasn't the end of it. The scandal haunted her reputation like a bad ghost, turning fans into skeptics and sponsors into nope-sayers. You gotta wonder, was it really worth trading respect for a few more wins? Apparently, Tammy has been pretty salty about how everything blew up in her face. In an interview, Tammy said she wishes she could turn back the clock. The pressure to stay on top? Yeah, it was real. But so was the fallout. Lost endorsements, a stained legacy, and an uphill battle to regain trust. And honestly, does anyone really bounce back from a doping scandal like that? It's like trying to ride a bike uphill with a flat tire. Super tough and low-key embarrassing. What's the takeaway? Tammy's story asks, when the competition turns ruthless, where do you draw the line? Steroids might boost you for a moment, but eventually it all comes crashing down. Number 13. Kelly White, a sprinter racing toward Olympic dreams who abruptly had her momentum cut short after being caught doping with steroids. Kelly was slapped with a 2-year ban, which means no Olympic Games for her in Athens. Instead of gold medals, she's now collecting the fine print of disgrace. Oh, and did I mention? She had every medal she won over 4 years stripped away. That's 3 world championship golds gone poof, like your favorite snack disappearing when you're not looking. Her doping game was quite the cocktail. A stimulant, fancy word for keep running like your life depends on it, a sneaky, undetectable steroid, and the endurance hormone erythropoietin, basically a science experiment gone wild. And how did the authorities catch her?
Nor was it on any of the IAAF ban lists. I treat these matters very carefully.
Through the infamous BALCO lab scandal. That's the steroid ring that's been the dark underbelly of sports for years. Kind of like the unclear convenience store everyone pretends not to know, but definitely buys from. Kelly didn't fight it. Nope, She owned up, sort of. Said she made poor choices, which is a polite way of admitting she took a shortcut through the rules. At least she's trying to clean up the sport, she says, which is noble or just a good PR move. Number 12. Rachel McLish, the OG queen of female bodybuilding who basically set the stage for women pumping iron back in the 80s. She wasn't just flexing muscles. She was flexing cultural boundaries, showing that women could be strong and stunning all at once. Sounds legendary, right? Well, hold your horses. Because even Rachel's journey isn't without its steroid shadows. Rachel was a trailblazer, winning the first ever Miss Olympia competition in 1980 and snagging another title in '82. Behind all that glam and muscle, steroids played their part. Yep, Rachel's admitted that the world of bodybuilding was, let's say, enhanced by performance boosters. Shocking? Nah, kinda expected when you're competing at that level. But here's the thing. She later reflected on that choice with a whole lot of regret. You gotta wonder, was the steroid hustle worth it? Rachel's pointed out how those messed with her health and brought a ton of pressure to maintain an unrealistic physique, the perfect body, more like the perfect storm of risks. Plus, the industry itself pushed women toward that juiced-up look, so it wasn't just a personal choice. It was survival of the fittest, steroid edition. Number 11. Cory Everson, a powerhouse who basically rewrote the rules of female bodybuilding back in the 80s. Six-time Ms. Olympia champ, the definition of muscle with a dash of grace, and a total icon in the fitness world. But here's the tea. Even Cory's journey wasn't all sunshine and protein shakes. Yeah, steroids played a sneaky role, and she's not exactly waving that flag proudly today. Cory was big on embracing what she calls feminine muscularity, balancing strength and femininity in a way that made people rethink what women's bodies could look like. But, plot twist, in an era when the muscle game was getting more intense and, well, juiced, Cory's admitted that steroids were kind of part of the deal. But she's been pretty upfront about the downsides, unlike some who stay tight-lipped. Here's where it gets interesting. Cory's reflections aren't just about the muscle gains, but about the regrets. She's talked about the health risks and the crazy pressure to maintain a superhuman physique, like how much is too much when your body starts feeling more like a science experiment than a temple. The whole more is better steroid mindset can quickly turn from flex-worthy to freaky. Number 10. Jenny Francon. Meet Jenny Francon, a Swedish wrestling champ who thought she was crushing it on the mat, until steroids entered the ring and totally flipped the script. Jenny was gearing up for the Olympics, ready to throw down and make her country proud. She got knocked out of the competition by a positive test. Yeah, steroids again. Jenny's world went sideways when she failed a doping test just before the World Wrestling Championships. The result? She got axed from Sweden's Olympic team and her reputation took a major hit. Talk about a brutal takedown. What started as a promising career quickly turned into a cautionary tale about what happens when you try to cheat the system. Now, Jenny hasn't exactly been throwing shade or trying to spin excuses. She's faced the music and spoken about how much she regrets the whole ordeal. You can almost hear her asking, was it really worth it? Because getting kicked out of the Olympics isn't just embarrassing, it's career-shattering. And for an athlete, that's like getting pinned on your back with no escape. Number 9. Jodie Marsh, the British bombshell who swapped her reality TV drama for some serious muscle gains. She went full beast mode, chasing that champion bodybuilder status. But hold up, behind those ripped abs and flexed biceps was a steroid story that's kinda hard to ignore. Jodie's been open about her journey from glam girl to gym warrior, hitting the weights hard and winning trophies along the way. In the quest for that perfect physique, she admits to dabbling in steroids. Yep, she jumped on the juicing train thinking it was the fast track to Muscle Town. But as it turns out, the steroids came with some pretty gnarly side effects and regrets. Surprise, surprise. She's talked about the toll it took on her body and mind, mood swings, health scares, and the pressure to keep looking on point all the time. Sounds like a nightmare wrapped in a gym bag. And honestly, who wouldn't regret it? Jodie's reflections hit hard. Was the temporary muscle glow worth the long-term drama? She's definitely not saying yes. What do we learn? Jodie's journey shows that steroids aren't a shortcut to greatness. They're a detour to trouble. They mess with your health and sanity, making you question the price of fame. The smartest move? Saying no to the easy way out. Number 8. Baxter, a powerhouse who defied norms and elevated female muscle to astonishing extremes. Wasn't just flexing. She was smashing stereotypes back in the 70s and early 80s. Behind that trailblazing badassery, steroids played a shadowy role, and the aftermath. Well, it's a mixed bag of glory and regret. Was one of the first women to bring serious muscle mass to the stage, like think 180 pounds of pure power at about 5 feet 6 inches. That's no joke. She practically invented the hardcore female bodybuilding look. But this level of muscle didn't come from just hitting the gym. Steroids were part of the secret sauce, fueling that insane growth. And as impressive as that sounds, it also stirred up some major health drama. Battled the dark side of steroid use, health complications, intense pressure to keep the muscle monster fed, and the harsh reality that pushing your body that hard can come with a price. Sadly, passed away at just 48, and while steroids weren't the sole cause, the strain on her body definitely played a role. It's the classic steroid story, massive gains but a short-lived glow-up. How far is too far when chasing muscle? Is the glory worth sacrificing your health? Her legacy is complicated. She broke barriers but also showed that some flexes have real-world costs. Get ready for today's mystic topic. This influencer's steroid journey didn't just change her body, it changed her life in ways she never expected. Could she have stopped before it got this bad? Or is this the price of chasing a dream in today's influencer culture? Drop your thoughts below and don't forget to mention #MysticTopic. Number 7. Petra Schneider. Back in the 70s and 80s, Petra Schneider ruled the pool for East Germany, grabbing gold medals like she was on an unstoppable streak. Turns out her success was juiced up by steroids, courtesy of the infamous state-sponsored doping program. Talk about swimming with a serious catch. Petra dominated the 400-yard individual medley, smashing world records one after another. But years later, the floodgates opened, and it was revealed that the East German swim team had been pumped full of performance enhancers, often without athletes' full knowledge. Yeah, that's a major yikes moment. Petra herself admitted that steroids gave her an unfair edge, and honestly, it's hard to argue with that. Petra spoke out about how the doping program wasn't just about winning. It was about control and sacrifice, and her health, her body, her integrity. She said the steroids had serious side effects, and while the medals looked shiny, the personal cost was heavy. Number 6. Marina Shainova. Once a shining star in the world of Olympic weightlifting, now more like a cautionary tale wrapped in steroids and regret. Back in Beijing 2008, Marina clinched the silver medal in the women's 128 pounds weight class, standing proud on the podium while the crowd cheered. But fast forward nearly a decade, and that silver medal turned into a not-so-shiny symbol of controversy. Here's the deal. In 2016, the International Olympic Committee decided to do a deep dive and reanalyze doping samples from the Beijing Games. Surprise, surprise, Marina's sample came back positive for stanozolol and turinabol, two classic performance-enhancing that have ruined more than a few careers. The IOC didn't waste time. They ordered Marina to return her silver medal. Talk about a serious glow-down. Marina wasn't exactly new to doping drama. She'd already been slapped with a doping ban back in 2013. So what's the deal? Was the allure of glory really worth risking it all twice? That's like trying to play the same game after getting caught the first time and hoping no one notices. Spoiler alert, people noticed. Marina's situation is the perfect example of steroids offering a quick boost, but leaving a long-term headache. Sure, you might lift heavier and feel unstoppable for a while, but the fallout. Stripped medals, public disgrace, and a legacy forever clouded by scandal. And for an athlete, losing your medals is one thing, but losing your credibility, that's the real heavyweight loss. How far would you go for a medal that might not last? Marina's story is a loud reminder it's not worth it. Steroids might seem like a quick boost, but they lead straight to regret. Her journey is more than a lost medal. It's a lesson in what shortcuts really cost. Number 5. Dawn Marie Damada. Now let's talk Dawn Marie Damada, WWE's own wrestling diva who went from body slamming opponents to wrestling with her own steroid regrets. Dawn wasn't just any wrestler, she was a fan favorite, known for her fiery personality and bold moves inside the ring. But behind the scenes, yeah, steroids made a cameo that she later admitted was a major "what was I thinking" moment. Dawn's steroid confession came out after years of denial. And honestly, it was a plot twist no one saw coming. Or maybe everyone kinda did? In the world of professional wrestling, the pressure to look ripped, stay strong, and perform like a superhero is insane. So, Dawn hopped on the steroid train, hoping it would keep her in fighting shape. But spoiler alert, that shortcut came with a heavy price. In interviews, Dawn didn't sugarcoat the fallout. She talked about how messed with her body and mind, how the quick gains were totally outweighed by the long-term regrets. It's like biting into a candy bar that tastes sweet but leaves you with a sugar crash lasting years. Plus, the wrestling world is ruthless when it comes to image and the steroid stigma. Yeah, it's a career killer. Dawn's story isn't just about steroids, it's about the pressures female influencers face trying to keep up with crazy expectations. The question is, when does chasing that perfect look become too much? And is the risk really worth it? Dawn's honest admissions are a refreshing real talk in an industry that's often about pretending everything's perfect. Number 4. Nicole Bass. From bodybuilding champion to WWE superstar, Nicole Bass's career soared, but steroids cast a tough shadow over her legacy. Nicole wasn't just flexing muscles. She was smashing stereotypes as one of the most dominant female wrestlers in the 90s and early 2000s. But behind that towering strength and fierce persona, steroids played a backstage role, and let's just say the aftermath was far from a victory lap. Nicole's journey was wild. She carved out a niche in wrestling, standing 6 feet 2 inches and weighing over 260 pounds. Definitely not your average diva, but with that kind of size and muscle, the pressure to stay on point was intense. Rumors and reports later revealed that she had taken steroids to maintain her massive frame. Steroids might have helped her bring that wow factor, but the cost? Oh, it was real, including serious health issues. Fast forward to 2017, and tragedy struck. Nicole from a massive stroke at just 52 years old. Many pointed fingers at the long-term impact of steroid use combined with the physical toll wrestling took on her body. It's a sobering reminder that those shortcuts come with consequences that can't be flexed away. Beyond the steroids, Nicole's life was marked by battles, including a high-profile lawsuit against WWE. She fought hard inside and outside the ring, but the steroid story casts a long shadow. It makes you wonder, was the price of her muscle and fame really worth it? How much do we sacrifice chasing strength and fame, especially when the cost could be our health or even life itself? Nicole's story isn't just about steroids. It's about the harsh reality of pushing the limits in a world that demands bigger, stronger, better, no matter what. Number 3. Heike Drechsler, a name that once sparkled on the Olympic track and field circuit, but now not so much. She was Germany's golden girl in the 80s and 90s, known for blowing minds with her long jumps and sprints. But oh boy, the glow-up wasn't all natural. Behind that medal count was a dark cloud of steroid use that she's never fully been able to shake off. See, Heike competed for East Germany during a time when steroids weren't just whispered about. They were basically part of the training manual. The state-sponsored doping program pumped athletes full of performance enhancers like it was going out of style. And yes, Heike was caught up in it. Even though she never outright confessed, there's plenty of evidence and testimony suggesting she was on the juice. But here's the kicker. The athletics world still can't decide if they want to fully disown her or keep her in the Hall of Fame. Talk about mixed signals. Heike's story brings up the tough win-at-any-cost question. Steroids pushed her to break records and land medals, long jumps over 27 feet in case you're wondering, but it came with health issues. Her legacy? like sprinting 100 yards with a chain holding you back. And the irony? Despite all the smoke around her doping past, Heike has kept a pretty clean public image, dodging direct admissions and keeping her medals. Number 2. Katarina Witt, the dazzling East German figure skating queen who twirled her way into Olympic history. Known for her grace on ice and fierce competitiveness, Witt was the face of figure skating in the 80s. But beneath those flawless routines was a cloud that's been hard to ice over, the whispers and shadows of steroid use during her time competing for East Germany. Now Katarina hasn't openly admitted to doping herself, but the whole East German sports machine was notoriously juiced up with state-sponsored steroids. We're talking about a system where athletes were basically treated like science experiments. Witt's era wasn't exactly the clean and pure image skating fans wanted to believe in. So, the question stands, how much of that glitter came from talent and how much from the needle? Witt has been vocal about the recent doping scandals in figure skating, especially after the Kamila Valieva controversy rocked the 2022 Olympics. She's expressed heartbreak and frustration over the sport's reputation taking a hit. And honestly, can you blame her? When doping clouds hover over the sport, it's hard to know who's skating clean and who's skating on a slippery slope. Katarina's legacy is stuck in this awkward freeze frame, a mix of incredible athleticism and the suspicion that some of those medals might have been fueled by steroids. It's the classic glamorous but tainted story that raises the question, can you truly appreciate those gold medals if they come with a side of chemical enhancement? Number 1. Yuliya Stepanova. Look at her. Yuliya Stepanova's journey is a roller coaster of steroids, cover-ups, and tough lessons. Here's a woman who didn't just take steroids. She took a hard left turn and blew the whistle on Russia's massive doping scandal, exposing one of the biggest cheats in Olympic history. Yuliya was a middle-distance runner who, admitted to doping herself while competing for Russia. She was part of that state-sponsored system pumping athletes full of banned substances, but instead of staying quiet and cashing in on medals, she and her husband decided to spill the tea on the whole operation. That's right. They risked everything to expose the massive steroid-fueled cheating machine that helped Russia rack up medals like they were going out of style. Yuliya openly admits that she regrets ever getting involved with steroids in the first place. She's talked about the pressure, the lies, and the weight of guilt that came with being part of a cheating system. Imagine having to carry that double life, performing at the top of your game but knowing it's all built on a lie. It's like running a race with one shoe tied and the other slipping off. Yuliya's bravery sparked worldwide outrage and led to a huge investigation that rocked the Olympics to its core. But it also left her in a tricky spot. Stripped of medals, banned from competing, and labeled a traitor by her own country. Yuliya Stepanova's journey is a heavy dose of steroid regret mixed with courage. Thanks for tuning in. If this video caught your attention, please give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more eye-opening stories. Don't forget to ring that bell so you stay updated on all our latest uploads. See you next time.